So the Indiana Fever today are facing off against the Washington Mystics. And we're going to be talking today about whether or not they should rest Caitlin Clark, whether they should play Caitlin Clark, and what the positives and the negatives to the entire situation is. Before we get on to it, if you guys are new to the channel, subscribe. We're 2 subscribers off 36,000. That is absolutely incredible, lads. But now we are going to be talking about this situation, and I think this is a more important game for the Mystics. I didn't realize this. I thought that the Mystics did not have, or I thought the Mystics didn't have the tiebreak over the Atlanta Dream. The Mystics do, in fact, I think, have the tiebreak over the Atlanta Dream, which means that when we are talking about the standings, because I think the Mystics are 3-1 over Chicago, and I think the Mystics are 2-2 with Atlanta. I think the Mystics might have a tiebreak over the Atlanta Dream. But either way, if the Sky beat the Sun, and I think whoever the Aces are playing, they're going to lose probably to the Wings. The Aces are resting their whole team. But the 1 through 7 are pretty much set. And I reckon we're going to see Atlanta lose to New York. That's my prediction. Because I think New York's bench are going to be Atlanta. But the Mystics versus the Fever, I think the Mystics have that tiebreak. So if the Mystics win, I think the Mystics are in the playoffs, if I'm not mistaken. Either way, it's a big game for them, whereas for Indiana, you're guaranteed the 3 seed. It makes absolutely no relevance to them. Makes absolutely none. And it obviously matters more for the Mystics. However, I will say, for Caitlin's going to play 25 minutes plus. And the reason why Caitlin's going to play 25 minutes plus is fans are here to see Caitlin Clark. She knows that. Fans are here to see her. So, and she even talked about it. It's like, she'll play 25 minutes. And also, if you're the Fever, you don't want your team to be in horrible form. It's very different when you're the Aces, when you're back-to-back champions. You could rest your players. If you got guaranteed the first seed, you could rest your players for 5 games and it wouldn't make a difference. However, if you're Indiana, you're a young team. You're a team heavily reliant on a win streak. So you're heavily reliant on playing with tempo, playing with momentum, continuity. So, and you don't necessarily have that much going for you when Caitlin Clark's not on the floor. I would strongly advise them to play Caitlin 25 minutes. But play Caitlin 25, play Aaliyah 25, play Kelsey 25, give Danta some minutes, give Temi some minutes, give Grace some minutes. Heck, you can give Victoria Saxton some minutes. I don't even know if Saxton's any good. I mean that. I do not even know if Saxton is good at basketball. And that's the issue where it's I have no idea. Because Victoria Saxton, as far as I'm aware, does she not average I don't know why she's on the roster. I just want to put that out there. Because she doesn't play even when it's garbage time. But if I'm not mistaken, her college stats, in college, she averaged 5.8 points per game for her career. And in her final year in college, she started the last 2 years. In her last year in college, she averaged 4.9 points per game. She averaged 4.9 points per game in college. Yes, I think, did they win in 2021? I think they might have won in 2021. They definitely won in 2022 anyway. And she averaged, in her 5th year, her COVID year, she averaged 5 points per game. So I actually just have no idea what Victoria Saxton is doing on the team. When you've got Grace Berger and stuff who just aren't there. Either way, it's going to be a game where you can play everybody. And it's also a game that kind of matters for certain things. It's this is where you can play Katie Lou. This is where, just if you guys don't remember, the game where Aaliyah Boston became Aaliyah Boston again was versus the Connecticut Sun. Aaliyah Boston came out against the Sun in garbage time and balled out. They got killed, but they were down 30 and it ended up being an 18-point game or something. But it was Aaliyah Boston with the bench, and Aaliyah Boston just started cooking. So that's just the way I'm looking at it. I'm you have potentially Aaliyah Boston, or not Aaliyah Boston, Katie Lou can have an Aaliyah Boston moment. Katie Lou is we've all watched Katie Lou at UConn. I watched Katie Lou at UConn, and Katie Lou Samuelson just never missed. Like I was like obviously I knew it was the same person, but like I almost had to watching her play for this team this year. I almost had to like be a little bit confused. And I'm like, wait, was Katie Lou the sister that was at UConn, or was it Carly at UConn? Like at the start of the year, trying to remember back 6 years, I had to like almost check myself, being like, wait, which sister was the one that was really good in college? Well, to be fair, they're both really good, but which sister was the one who was like elite in college? But yeah, they're gonna play their starters. I would try to give Katie Lou 25 minutes, and I'd run stuff for Katie Lou. If Katie Lou, there is a shooter in there somewhere. If Katie Lou can hit 3 3-pointers in a row, and then she can bring that form into the playoffs, where in her 11 minutes a game she shoots 2 threes and makes one for the whole playoffs, we're good. Then we're good, because the reality of it is that like these players just might need a confidence booster. Christy Wallace, I don't know what the hell happened to Christy Wallace. I would love to see Grace Berger play. I'd love to see Grace Berger just to see what she can do, because you're obviously not really going to change your rotation for the playoffs. And even if you don't want to play Grace Berger, you don't want to play Saxton, I would play Katie Lou Samuelson 25 minutes, maybe 30 minutes today. And I would make sure Katie Lou Samuelson shoots 8 shots. Is it going to lose you the game? Maybe. Does it make any difference? No. Like, that's what I would do, because they're not going to do what the Aces are doing, which is sitting their whole team. One, it's dumb, and two, like, there's people that paid a lot of good money to see the Fever. If I'm Caitlin Clark, I'm just letting it fly. If I'm Kelsey Mitchell, I'm letting it fly. I'm not playing any major defense today if I'm Indiana. I'm really not. Like, for Washington, this is such an important game. Brittany Sykes is going to try to lock down Caitlin Clark. I think it's going to go one of two ways for her. I think Caitlin Clark is either going to have 30 or have 10. I don't think there's going to be an in-between there. I think she's either going to make everything or miss everything. And I think we see Kelsey Mitchell, again, just chucking, doing some ISOs. I think this team should just go out there and have fun. Use it as, ideally, you want to win the game. But, like, if you lose the game because of the bench lineup being in more than they should, it's not the end of the world. But what I don't want to see them do is not take the game in any way seriously. Like, you can relax a little bit and play with some freedom because it doesn't matter. But what I don't want to see is them getting blown out by 30. Like, that's not a good thing for the playoffs, coming in after getting blown out by 30 to a team. Even if you're Washington, you're going to want to kill this Fever team, especially with the Brittany Sykes crap on social media, who I'm not going to lie, like, that's good for the game. Rivalries are good for the game, and as somebody that has covered that is great for the game. It's going to be fun to see Brittany Sykes and Caitlin Clark. And yeah, so I think they're going to go all out. I actually see the Mystics winning this game, really, no matter what. I think it means too much for the Mystics, and it doesn't mean anything for the Fever. It's very unlikely the Mystics win, or the Mystics don't win. But anyway, that's the video. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.